Hello there, and another very hot and sunny welcome to the France by Guides YouTube presentation. Well, it's a few hints about learning French this week. Communication is so important, and when you go to another country, you feel extremely isolated if you didn't learn at least a little bit of the language, if English isn't the first language there. Now, here are my top tips for helping you to learn it reasonably easily, at least trying to speak a little bit. First of all, try to immerse yourself when you base yourself in France, try and steer away from the English crowd, um, even though it might be tempting to sometimes spend some time with your fellow expats. But living in France means that you're forced to speak the language at least a little bit. And what better way than to really immerse yourself in it? Try to find a non-touristy area now and again where there are likely to be less English people around. Also practice daily. Speaking and writing a little bit of French every day will definitely reap rewards for you. Even setting aside just a few minutes can be a huge advantage. Find someone to chat to or write flashcards and say them aloud to yourself, like you would at school even. Next, set up a conversation exchange perhaps. In the old days, of course, we used to have pen friends. I think I had about 6 pen friends at one time. But find someone who wants to exchange their French for your English, whether this is online or face to face. You can definitely find somebody and do a sort of a trade. Also, look out for classes. There are plenty of local classes where we are actually. There's still lots of English people around, even in our village. So find a class where you can perhaps go in the evenings and learn with some other English people and compare notes. Next, listen to French as much as you can on the radio and on TV. Even if you find it hard to understand, you'll pick up a few words. Things like the news are good because it's sort of read more slowly. And don't be shy. You'll gain a lot of more respect by trying to speak, even if you make mistakes. Nobody actually minds. In fact, they find it quite funny here. Nobody would judge you for making a few errors. And also, don't forget, the French love it when they hear their language spoken with an English accent. Get a feel for the French culture as well. If you look around, visit many museums and markets, etc. Tune your ear to what you hear. That's always a good one. Some of it will rub off. Another one that's good is to read French magazines and also children's books. That's quite a good way of learning. I remember when I was at school reading the whole series of Asterix and Tintin, for example. Okay, quite a long time ago now. But a little bit of light reading like that will help. And make a note, carry around with your little notebook, make a note of any unknown vocabulary and look up any words you don't know. Actually writing them down with the definition, etc., can help register in your mind. There are plenty of course, language learning CDs around at quite a reasonable cost. Listening and repeating is how you learn English, after all. And finally, remember, it's really good for you. It's good for your brain to actually learn a new language. It dust it off. Okay, you might not be able to discuss quantum physics in French, but you'll at least be able to hold a conversation and it'll only get better with practice. So that's my tips on language learning for you this week. I hope all goes well. Do write to me if you need any help or call our office in London. We're always willing to assist where we can. Bye bye for now.